Hey everybody, this is Eli J. Brown / Eli J. Brony, and welcome to another MOC video. You know, Lego MOC video. Okay, anyway. Today I decided to go through the different spare parts that I had in my parts drawer. I did do some disassembling of some MOCs that I kind of felt like there wasn't any point in keeping them around anymore, so I took them apart. And now that I had done that, I figured, well, why don't I see what I can make using the parts that I have now that I did that disassembling. And something that I did decide to do is to create kind of a more updated version of my Zenowing MOC, and using mostly character and creature building system pieces. And I had done that, and then I went ahead and also created Doomwing. Now I did want to create Doomwing for some time, and I wasn't able to because I didn't have the parts for it. But then I attempted to do that, and I managed to get it right here. Now I'm going to look at one of these figures at a time. I'll start off with the Zenowing figure, also known as Torin from Juden Sentai Koyuger, the Sentai that Power Rangers Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge was adapted from. And I just used a lot of the white pieces. I used the main torso pieces for the shoulders, took a couple of those T pieces to attach the Hero Factory 2.0 series head pieces, which are supposed to be the hooks on Zenowing's shoulders. I did want to try to get in the little handle things that are also on the shoulders, but I just could not figure out any way to do that. Did come up with all sorts of different ideas on what I could use, but I just could not figure it out in any way. And I did also want to use the modern style feet for him, but I didn't have those feet available in the parts, so I went ahead and used the Telemetru feet from 2004. And to add in with the bit of red that's on his lower pants, went ahead and used two of the red Hero Factory Hero Cores there. And for the torso, I used the thinner torso piece, and the points where the arms would normally go are what I used to attach the three long size armor pieces onto there. And as for the hooks on his torso, this was the best I could come up with. I mean, there's supposed to be like a hook on his belly, but there's just no way for me to have done that, getting the hook on right there, because there's no connection point right there. I mean, with the Breakout Series chest pieces, that probably would work out better, only they are over on the, there are two, but they are out at the ends, not in the center, so that certainly did not work out all that well. I did end up using the 2006 Bionicle main body piece to just get an attachment for the arms, as well as also for the wings right here. I did extend the wings by using these blue Parapar armor pieces. And these armor pieces right here on the back, they are just to provide some coverage, because after I had gotten everything else onto there, it just looked kind of open, so I just added those onto there. The head is the same as it was before, and the same goes for the weapon too. Nothing's really changed right there. So that is my updated version of my Zenowing MOC. And now let's take a look at his evil counterpart, also formerly his evil half. If you had watched the episode Silver Secret, you'd know that they were formerly fused into one being, and that was so Doomwing would have the capability of transforming into the Silver Ranger, because with Zenowing and him sharing a body, he was able to transform because the Silver Energem was bonded to Zenowing, But of course, once they got separated, once they used the separator thing to get them separated, Doomwing could no longer transform into the Silver Ranger because Zenowing was the one that the Silver Energem bonded to, so only he could become the Silver Ranger after they had been separated. In order for Doomwing to become the Silver Ranger, he needed to be fused with Zenowing. Anyway, for this one, this one is slightly different from the Zenowing one. I did use the main torso piece for the back this time. You know, just kind of to show some difference, because even though they're supposed to be like a good or evil version of one another, they did have some difference, like Doomwing was kind of a bit thinner and such, which was why I didn't use as huge armor pieces as Zenowing had. And also the same issue with the hooks on the torso. Had to deal with these right here, though of course these ones are not as big, and neither of these on the sides are not the head pieces like with Zenowing, they are the actual spike pieces. Though of course, Doomwing didn't even have the same handle straps on the hooks on his arms like Zenowing had. The dark red armor pieces is supposed to be his cloth, the cloth that he was wearing. And for this one, I ended up using the black Toa feet from the original generation of Bionicle. And then this is supposed to be his sword. It's just basic, just a custom-made sword. I know some of you would probably say, oh, it would have worked better if these pieces were red and not black. And you're right, it probably would look better, but I did not have those pieces in red, so I went with black ones instead. And then for the wings, well, the wings are not all that great anyway. I just added on the red armor pieces and the yellow armor pieces, because there was some yellow on his wings, and also on his head. The yellow part up here is supposed to be his hair, and I needed to also get some of the red onto his face. And I ended up doing the same beak feature that I had for Zenowing, but for his eyes I used Borak eyes, because Doomwing kind of had some more evilish eyes, kind of more pointed out, while with Zenowing they were kind of more circular. And I also needed to get these hoses down here, you know, to form the bits of hair that's coming off of his face. And I used the black Borak head pieces for the horse. I really don't know why I hesitated there. So that is about it for this. That is my mock of Doomwing, as well as my updated version of my mock of Zenowing from Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. It was certainly quite an interesting little way for them to introduce these characters into the storyline. It was very different from the Japanese version. Of course, in the Japanese version, they didn't have the whole idea of fusion. Doomwing in that version was just another recreated version of Zenowing, because in case you haven't seen Koyuger, you would know that in that version, Zenowing was actually one of the villain characters who decided to turn to the side of good, and Doomwing was created by Arcanon to try to replace Zenowing, kind of to, well, Doomwing was supposed, in the Sentai, Doomwing was supposed to represent Zenowing's true form before he betrayed the villains. Of course, they had different names in the Sentai, obviously, but I'm going by their American names because a lot of you probably are American speaking audience, obviously. But anyway, I certainly like that whole idea of the story. It was certainly one that I was not expecting to get, but you know, all sorts of surprises can come across you when they bring in the story very different from how it went in the original Japanese version. So I hope you like that, and I will be sure to talk to you again in my next video.